the 5-Star Man's The Daily Champion.
Proverbs chapter 7, verse 1. Dear friend, do what I tell you. Treasure my careful instructions. Do what I say, and you'll live well. Each year, eBay is used to auction off a nice lunch at the New York City Steakhouse Smith & Wollensky. In 2014, Andy Chu won the auction with a bid of $2.2 million. Chu and 7 guests enjoyed a meal with famed investor, the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett. I'm sure the meal was fine and the conversation was enjoyable, but why would anyone pay so much for lunch? We need to make the most of the opportunity that we have with the book of Proverbs. It is a man writing oracles of wisdom to his son. It's life's little instruction book. It's the greatest compilation of wisdom ever gathered. And it's ours for the taking. To learn more, go to 5starman.com.
Today is July 7, 2020. This is your news to this hour. I'm Gayla Gadia for FEBC Radio. For the local news, Barangay San Nicolas proper, Barangay Captain Clifford Jude Ninial has called on officials of Cebu City government to assign a medical officer who will look into the health condition of about 100 homeless and locally stranded individuals housed at the barangay gym. He said he also wants medical attention for the homeless and LSIs who are staying at the gym considering they have been exposed outside. Mr. Ninial has said that in March, the barangay initiated to house the homeless who were staying outside the church and sidewalks, fearing they might contract the virus that causes the coronavirus disease. In other news, a bill has been filed in the Senate seeking the creation of plasma banks in all public and private hospitals across the Philippines to promote plasma donation for COVID-19 patients while there remains no available vaccine for the virus. Senator Amy Marcos's Senate Bill 1648, or the proposed Plasma Donation and Collection Act, is seeking to promote the convalescent plasma transfusion for the speedy recovery of COVID-19 patients, especially those who are suffering from severe infection. Malacanang has recently welcomed the start of a government-funded study on the use of convalescent blood plasma to help treat COVID-19. Philippine General Hospital spokesperson Jonas Del Rosario has said that the therapy is believed to shorten the course of illness of COVID-19 patients. And that's the news to this hour. This is Gayla Gadia for FEBC Radio. Check your time. It's now 7:03. Good morning.
This is FEBC Philippines, giving you Christ in our world for 72 years. Now, on air and online. 1116 DXAX, Zamboanga City. 1162 DXAI, Coronadal City. 103.3 in Linche, Cagayan de Oro City. 1197 DXFE, Davao City. 106.3 DZRK, Quezon, Palawan. 1233 DYFR, Bacolod City. Up 987 DYFR, Cebu City. 97.5 DYFE, Tacloban City. 1123 DZMR, San Diego City. Here, 104.3 The Wave FM, Legazpi City. 98.7 DZFE, Metro Manila. 702 KZAX, Mega Manila. And online 24/7, Now XD and Pinoy Connection.
Inspiring, life-changing. Up 987, up 987. Encouraging, inspiring,
Yes, this is UP987 DYFR-FM, life-changing. Good morning, I'm Gail, joining you till 9 this beautiful Tuesday morning. We thank the Lord for this brand new day. We thank Him for the gift of life. May this blessing motivate you to do good, to show kindness and love to the people around you. And as always, we're filling the air with songs and inspiration. Would love to hear from you. Feel free to message us, text us at 0919-492-1939 or send us a message on facebook.com/up987 DYFR-FM. Listen out to Love and the Outcome for the song You Got This. We're still facing tough times, but God's got this. Let that truth comfort you today.
Have you ever had one of those days when nothing really goes your way? Then you see it wasn't meant to. You get a new view.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody else sleeps at night, lost in the worry. Will it work out just right? Feels like I'm going crazy, stressed out, praying. Yeah, yeah. I know it's not a lot.
No, it's not a lot.
I give you all I got.
Give you all I got.
I know it's true. I can count on you. I don't know the way, but you got this. Give me the faith that you got this. Even today, you got this. I know that you got this. Caught up in the same mistakes. You catch my fall when I fall on your face. I'm learning slowly, God, you show me. Yeah, yeah. There's a better way. There's a better way. I give you everything. I know it's true.
I can count on you.
I don't know the way, but you got this. Give me the faith that you got this. Even today, you got this. I know that you got this. Yeah, you got this. Give me the faith that you got this. Even today, you got this. I know that you got this.
We know
Agent X, your next mission will require a special weapon.
Like this telephone here that's really a camera? Oops, I meant this telephone over here.
No, on your next mission, you will battle the enemy unseen.
Oh, jungle warfare, huh? Not to worry, I know Fujitsu. Hey-ya!
That was my Dastos. Right. No physical weapon can touch this enemy. You need this.
Ah, a seemingly harmless Bible.
It is a Bible. Study it. No,
Oh, I bet there's a small explosive device inside, right? A gun?
no,
A knife.
it's a Bible, and it's more powerful than any weapon we could give you.
You know, Agent P got a tank shaped like a Porsche. Sure I don't need one of those?
This book is your best defense. It provides everything you need. Read it. Your life depends on it.
Dick gets a watch that's a fax machine, and I get a book.
Agent X.
I'm reading, sir, I'm reading.
Another message from
Playing now is We Are Royals by North Point Worship. No matter what your background is, God welcomes you, so let Him take charge of your life. This is your FEBC Radio.
From urban streets to open plains, we are under one name. No one is lost or goes unseen, 'cause we're all loved by our King. This is nothing ordinary. There is power in the name we carry. Every nation, every tongue. Welcome to the kingdom. All the rich, all the poor, all the people, all yours. We are daughters, we are sons, more than more. nothing but the blood. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood. There is nothing strong enough to stand against what love has done without stretched hands. From now salvation flows. Changing. UP987 DYFR-FM. Jesus Christ, on the night he was betrayed, took some bread, broke it in pieces, and said,
This is my body given for you. Do this to remember me.
in the same way, before he went to pray, after supper, took the cup of wine and said,
This is the new covenant, confirmed by my blood. Do this to remember me.
This is your body broken for me. Jesus, I remember you. This is your blood poured out for me. Jesus, I remember you. This is your body broken for me. Jesus, I remember you. This is your blood poured out for me. Jesus, I remember you. This time with your church, waiting for you, waiting for the day you will return. Next time with you at your banqueting table, we anticipate. Next time with you, this time with your church, waiting for you, waiting for the day you will return. Next time with you at your banqueting table, we anticipate. Next time with you, next time with you, next time with you. This is your body broken for me. Jesus, I remember you. This is your blood poured out for me. Jesus, I remember you. Next time with you, next time with you, next time with you, next time with you, next time with Jesus, next time with Jesus, next time
UP987 DYFR-FM. Life changing. Communicating Christ. On air, online, and on the ground.
Hey, let me give you some country wisdom. Never name a pig you're gonna eat. Have you ever stopped to think that God knows your name? It's really important that He does. The Bible says that we have a new name in heaven, given to us by God, who's loved us without condition, without reservation. You're not Remember, to God, you're a person, and you've got a name. The name He gives us reflects just who we are and whose we are. Here's the really good news. Because He names us, He won't destroy us. It's almost impossible to destroy something you name. Hey, I'm Steve Brown. Think about that. So what you just heard, little friend. What do you think about that?
Hero of the day.
My name is Jennifer Flores, and I'm a bank teller. I am responsible for handling customer financial transactions like deposit, withdrawals, transfer, money orders, and checking. Some clients were impatient or waiting for their turn, but the Lord reminds me, even those who don't believe the same as me, to treat them with respect and dignity. Their lack of faith or difference of faith doesn't mean that I have the right to mistreat them. In the middle of this health crisis, God has really been faithful because He gives me peace of mind. He also uses a pastor to remind me that difficulties in life are working for those who love God and against them, and our future glory is awaiting for us while our present life is guarded by God.
Checker time, it's now 7:31 a.m. Thanks for sticking around. You're on UP987, life-changing, one of the 12 stations of Far East Broadcasting Company, Philippines. I hope you're well and safe amid the pandemic that we're facing. The virus is still around. It continues to infect more and more people. So as much as possible, stay at home. We cannot emphasize this enough. Stay at home. Plan your trips and prepare your weekly essentials. Lessen your exposure by limiting the days of going out. Never forget to sanitize and wash hands all the time. Wear face mask at all times. We're all struggling in this together, so let us help our frontliners by cooperating, alright? We've got more tracks for you. Living Hope by Phil Wickham, laid down by Jordan Feliz on this FEBC Radio.
I'll break the chasm that lay between us. I'll hide the mountain I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night. Then through the darkness, your loving kindness
DYFR-FM, life-changing.
I hear you call my name. I don't wanna hesitate. I can't live another day like this. So here I am letting go into your saving arms. Your love is lifting every burden. And I hear you say, lay it down, lay it down, lay it down, lay it down, lay it down,
Lay down.
That shame is falling off, swept up by your love, sinking to the depths of the ocean. It's you where I find my peace, it's you where you cover me. I'm leaning in to hear you say, and you say, lay it down, lay it down, lay it down. Lay it down, lay it down, lay it down. All the pain, all the weight, every scar I will take. So lay it down, lay it down, lay it All of the chains have been undone. Every battle you have won. Here in your presence I am free. You tell me, lay down, lay down, lay down, lay down, lay down. Lay down, lay down. All the pain, all the weight, every scar I will take. So lay down, lay down, lay If you wanna find peace, come lay it down. If you wanna get free, just come lay it down. If you wanna find peace, just come lay it down. If you wanna get free, just come lay it down.
When you've hit rock bottom, there's no other way to go but up.
If you know this next track, sing along and declare the greatness of God. Chris Tomlin for How Great Is Our God on UP987, life-changing.
The splendor of a king, clothed in majesty, all the earth rejoice, all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide. It trembles at his voice, trembles at his voice. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? And all will see how great
DYFR-FM, life-changing, broadcasting from the Queen City of the South.
Hello there, this is Grace Nemenyo, station manager of UP987 DYFR-FM Cebu. Friends, in the last few weeks, we've shared with you the funding challenges facing the station, and we've been incredibly thankful for your outpouring of support and all of your prayers. And as we continue to find ways to sustain the broadcast during this difficult time, we've made the hard decision to reduce our transmitting power by 30% effective May 25, Monday. This arrangement will allow us to work with the modest resources that we have and to preserve the round-the-clock 24-hour broadcast that we began delivering to you last August, which is a milestone and a priority for UP987. Now, reception may deteriorate in some areas because of the low power. If you experience this, we urge you to listen via the mobile app FEBCPH or to request a link to our online stream. Above all, if UP987 has encouraged, inspired, or has been a companion to you, we invite you to join us in bearing up the station both in prayer and with your giving. The operations of UP987 depend entirely on your donations. Faithful giving of any amount will help us bring our uplifting music and message of life change to those who so deeply need it. Please check our pinned post on Facebook for more information and feel free to reach us with your questions. God.
Again, if the reception in your area deteriorates, we encourage you to listen online. Download the mobile app, FEBC PH Stream. You can also listen through your web browser, messages for the streaming link. And if God is touching your heart to give financially to the station, message us to know how. Our time is now 7:49 a.m. Hello and good morning to Ate Gang, Baby Zian, and of course to Mama Patring, who is still in the hospital with Ate Dong. We continue to pray for healing. God is with you, and your family wants you to know that they are with you as well. Jason Largado, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're doing well today. This is UP987, life-changing, bringing you words and music that encourage and comfort. And I hope that as you continue to tune in, you will be reminded that we are not hopeless and helpless. So keep on trusting God, keep on praying. He's got this, all right? Coming up next is Benny Manaligod, John De Vera, and Mike O'Hara for Angkla, followed by Mercy Me for I Can Only Imagine. That's here on this FEBC Radio.
Ikaw lamang, oh Jesus.
before me. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? To my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine when that day comes and I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all I will do is forever, forever worship you. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. When all I would do is forever, forever worship you. I can only imagine. I'm Neil Kennedy. Welcome to Five Star Man's The Daily Champion. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 1. Dear friend, do what I tell you. Treasure my careful instructions. Do what I say, and you'll live well. Each year, eBay is used to auction off a nice lunch at the New York City Steakhouse Smith & Walensky. In 2014, Andy Chu won the auction with a bid of $2.2 million. Chu and 7 guests enjoyed a meal with famed investor, the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett. I'm sure the meal was fine and the conversation was enjoyable. But why would anyone pay so much for lunch? We need to make the most of the opportunity that we have with the book of Proverbs. It is a man writing oracles of wisdom to his son. It's life's little instruction book. It's the greatest compilation of wisdom ever gathered. And it's ours for the taking. To learn more, go to
Today is July 7, 2020. This is your news to this hour. I'm Gail Lagadia for FEBC Radio. For the local news, the Cebu Provincial Board has passed a 1.2 billion peso supplemental budget or SB intended for the capital's response and recovery projects from the effects of the COVID-19. 6th District Board member Glenn Anthony Soco said the allocation would be needed to get the economy back on track. Soco said part of the 1.2 billion peso SB will go to the Office of the Governor's Assistance to local government units and aid to barangay funds. In other news, China has warned the United Kingdom not to interfere with Hong Kong following the imposition of a new national security law. Ambassador Liu Xiaoming said the UK's offer of a path to citizenship for up to 3 million Hong Kongers amounted to gross interference. The ambassador said a decision on exactly how Beijing intended to respond to the offer would be made once it knew the details. The offer came after Beijing brought in the controversial and sweeping new law. Opponents say it erodes the territory's freedoms as a semi-autonomous region. And that's the news to this hour. This is Gail Agadia for FEBC Radio. Check your time. It's now 8:01. Good morning.
Here's Spark's Broadcasting Company Philippines, celebrating 72 years of communicating Christ in our world, on air and online. 1116 EXAS Zamboanga City, 1162 EXKI Coronadal City, 103.3 The New J Cagayan de Oro City, 1197 DXFE Davao City, 106.3 DZRK Quezon Palawan, 1233 DYFR Bacolod City, Up 987 DYFR Cebu City, 97.5 DYFE Tacloban City, 1143 DZMR Santiago City, Care 104.3 The Wave FM Legazpi City, 98.7 DZFE Metro Manila, and 702 DZAS Mega Manila. Our message is Christ, our hope, our life. You are God.
Inspiring, life-changing. Stand firm through the turbulence. Up 987. Up 987. Encouraging. Inspiring. Up 987.
Hi, happy Tuesday morning. This is Up 987 DYFR-FM, life-changing, broadcasting live from Emmanuel Bible College Compound, Banawa Hills, Cebu City. My name is Gail, and I'll be with you till 9 a.m. today. How's it going? I trust you're doing okay despite the health crisis we are in. Speaking of this health crisis, I want to share with you this info from the World Health Organization. It's about being aware of the different levels of risks in different settings. There are certain places where COVID-19 spreads more easily. So first is crowded places with many people nearby. Second is close contact settings, especially where people have close range conversations. And third is confined enclosed spaces with poor ventilation. The risk is higher in places where these factors overlap. So consider where you are going and stay safe by avoiding these 3 C's. Up next is Carrie Joe for the song Healer. Remember to pray for healing for those who have been infected by COVID-19.
You hold my hand, you call
DYFR-FM, life-changing.
You light up the darkness and fill my heart with hope. When my strength starts to fail me, in my shame you found me and clothed me in your love. By your grace I am free. So today when you hear his voice, harden not your heart. Come as you are into his presence and worship. Praise the name of the Lord our God, Jesus Messiah. With one voice we sing our praise and make a joyful sound to the King of Kings. Whoa, Your spirit, he moves me. Your word, it guides my way. Your promise is true. You are my God forever until the end of days. My life is for you. So today when you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. Come as you are into his presence and worship. Praise the name of the Lord our God, Jesus Messiah. With one voice we sing our praise and make a joyful sound to the King of Praise. The name of the Lord our God, Jesus Messiah. With one voice we sing our praise and make a joyful sound to the King of Kings. Oh, bless his name. Oh, make a joyful noise. Lift your voice with the sound to the Lord of Lords. Praise the name of the Lord our God, Jesus Messiah. With one voice we sing our praise and make a joyful sound to the King of Praise. The name of the Lord our God, Jesus Messiah. With one voice we sing our praise and make a joyful sound to the King of Kings.
This is Up 987 DYFR-FM, life-changing, broadcasting from Cebu
Well,
City.
John, I want to hand down to you some family heirlooms.
Really? Did you hear that, dear? Grandpa has some gifts for us.
That's nice, dear.
So, what do you have for me?
Well, I have this Bible. It's been in the family since our relatives came over on the Mayflower in the 1600s.
Wow, that's gonna be worth a lot. Hon, what do you think we can get for this?
I'll call the appraiser tomorrow.
What else do you have?
Oh, well, I have these wedding bands owned by your great-great-grandparents.
Are they gold?
Oh, no, they're silver. They were way too poor to afford coal.
Oh, what do you think, dear? Garage sale?
Garage sale.
What's this book?
Well, that's the history of our family going back to the 1400s. I've been working on this for the last 47 years.
Well, that's nice. Hon?
Attic.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming over, Grandpa. Come again.
God loved the world so much that he gave his only son, Jesus. What have you done with God's gift? Another message from Lifeline Productions, located on the web at lifelinepro.com.
You
Radio.
Show more mercy to me than I show myself. 'Cause I might have needed more grace than anyone else. You've always been good to me, no way not to see. The evidence is clear. Every day, every breath, every moment I'm living, every beat of my heart, every morning I'm giving. I'm so grateful, so lost in undeniable. I can't count all the ways that you picked me up. Yeah. 'Cause you keep taking me far from who I was. You've always been good to me, no way not to see. The evidence is clear. Every day, every breath, every moment I'm living, every beat of my heart, every morning I'm giving. I'm so grateful, so lost in wonder. Deserve
DYFR-FM, life-changing, broadcasting from Emmanuel Bible College compound, Banawa Hills, Cebu City.
Is it true that God is willing to save us, but we must make the first move toward Him? Here's Pastor Colin Smith with today's key for unlocking the Bible.
Here's the problem with that. If I'm saved and another person is lost, the only difference between us would be that I made the first move towards God and the other person did not. And if that's the case, my salvation boils down to something that I did, and then it would be a human thing. That's not the teaching of the Bible. If by nature my mind is blind to the gospel and my heart is hard to the gospel, I will not and I cannot make the first move towards God. The only way I could ever be saved is if He makes the first move towards me and makes me willing to come to Him. When you see that salvation comes from God's initiative, it will lead you to worship. Salvation comes from the Lord.
For more, visit unlockingthebible.org.
Who is allowed outdoors during the quarantine? Only one person per household can go outside to buy necessities, such as food and groceries. Also allowed outside for work are employees working at markets, groceries, convenience stores, drugstores or pharmacies, and banks or remittance centers, and personnel in health services, border control, or any other critical service. Senior citizens, pregnant women, and individuals with health conditions such as hypertension, diabetes, COPD, or cancer should stay indoors. A reminder from the PCOO, DOH,
Keep that in mind. Our time is now 8:33 a.m. Thanks a lot for giving us a listen. I'm Gail for UP987, life-changing member of the KBP, Kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. We want to say good morning to Sir Fred Bardorla. He says a blessed Tuesday to Ma'am Rose and Sir Albert Alfonso of Gardenville, Aldog, Talisay City, Cebu. Thanks for tuning in today. Well, there's just worrisome news every day. It seems like this pandemic has no end. And just like me, maybe you have also asked, kamusta pa man ni mahuman? Last week, I wasn't able to stop my tears. I broke down twice, one in the morning, one in the evening, because I was just overwhelmed with the news about this health crisis. My husband and I personally know people who have died because of COVID. We have friends who are currently in the hospital, in isolation center because of COVID. It brings a different level of anxiety when it hits closer to home. And I won't deny, it really affected me emotionally that led to that breakdown. But the Lord is always good, because in those crying moments, I felt His assurance that He is around, that He is compassionate, that He is our hope. So again, I'm reminded of how I should respond, and that is to trust in Him. Psalm 94:14 writes, "The Lord will not abandon His people, He will not desert those who belong to Him." Keep that in mind. We Are Messengers brings you this song, Maybe It's Okay. May God fill you with His peace today.
If I didn't know what it hurt like to be broken, then how would I know what it feels like to be home? If I didn't know what it cuts like to be rejected, then I wouldn't know the joy of coming home. Maybe it's okay if I'm not okay, 'cause the one Lord, your will be done here in my heart as in heaven. Father, let your kingdom come. Let your will be done here in my heart as in heaven. Maybe it's okay if I'm not okay. 'Cause the one who owns the world is holding on to me. Maybe it's alright if I'm not alright. 'Cause the one who owns the stars is holding my whole life. Maybe it's okay if I'm not okay.
Music and words that warm the heart. Up 987. Life changing.
One day when heaven is filled with His praise, one day when sin was black as could be, Jesus came forth to be born of a virgin, dwelt among men, salvation. justify, freely forever. One day he's coming on glorious day, on glorious day, glorious day. Ikan saya ng sasala, inuwa kong ilukan, pagkamaayo mo, talaykon ka, ug ang akong mga kapos, ang mabuto na, pagkamaayo mo, Jesus, talaykon ka, ipataas ko ang akong mga kamot, nagpamatuod na ako, kawas doon na, nagamaya, nag-aawit, nagadaig kanimo, o kini ang mga ebidensya, nga ako, kawas doon na. Ang malakihog na naghasol sa akong konsensya, ibulian mo mga awit, pagtuod sa imong gugma, ug ang mga pagtuwa-tuwa, kabalaka ug kahadlok, nanawag ka na, ipataas ko ang akong mga kamot, nanawag pamatuod na ako, kawas doon na, nagamaya, nag-aawit, nagadaig kanimo, o kini ang mga ebidensya, nga ako, kawas doon, pagkaanindot, di bagong kinabuhi nga, nagkaplagan ko iha, kanimo, o Jesus, salamat sa imong luma, nga naghatag na kong kagawasan, ipataas ko ang akong mga kamot, nanawag pamatuod na ako, kawas doon na, nagamaya, nag-aawit, nagadaig kanimo, o kini ang mga ebidensya, ipataas ko ang akong mga kamot, nanawag pamatuod na ako, kawas doon na, nagamaya, nag-aawit, nagadaig kanimo, o kini ang mga ebidensya, nga ako, kawas doon, ako, kawas doon, ako, kawas doon, kawas doon na, ako, kawas doon na.
UP987 DYFR-FM, life-changing, communicating Christ, on air, online, and on the ground.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Ledger. Just wanted to give you guys a bit of an encouragement. I know that times seem kind of crazy right now, unlike anything we've seen. And just want to remind you that in the Bible there are so many times where God interrupts lives, and it's always to touch hearts, to change them, to meet them in new ways, and it's usually when He's doing a miraculous and great thing. And so if you're feeling unsteady, if you're feeling uncertain, be reminded of who your God is. Be reminded that we do not have to be afraid, because He is always close by us. I just want to encourage you guys that you've got unique opportunities in these unique circumstances right now. There is nothing like comfort and complacency to kind of make us numb in our walks with God, kind of make us not necessarily feel that desperate need to cling to Him and seek Him. And so use this time in a great way to reprioritize your life, to put God first, to really seek Him. Let this deepen your walk with Him in a way like never before. Let Him be the most real, the most true hope in your life. Let Him be the only firm foundation that you put your hope in. He's the only thing that matters.
that
Ledger giving us some words of encouragement amid this health crisis we're facing. And our time is now 8:48 a.m. Happy Tuesday morning. This is Up 987, life changing, specially designed to remind you that there is hope amid our trying situation. I'm Gail, and I want to give a shout out to the Diamante family who's always listening to Up 987. Tito Lito, Tita Ami, Kuya Ayanri, and Ate Christine, thank you so much for tuning in. Hi also, good morning to teacher Mina Lantaka, a former colleague of mine. Thank you also for letting us know that you are listening this Tuesday morning. God bless you guys and stay safe. Now listen to what inspirational speaker Francis Kong reminds us of. And I quote, "There is wisdom in learning to be still. Peace and calmness are essential for existence. Sleep does not help if your soul is tired." End of quote. I know it's quite a challenge to be still these days, especially with what's going on. We panic, we try to find solutions, we try to be in control, forgetting that we aren't. So be still. Know that our Lord is God. He is able to give you peace that is beyond human understanding. So always remember that you are blessed, for you are loved, so have faith. I'm Gail. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay indoors as much as possible, please. Let's help our frontliners. Let's continue to pray for them.